Surely, I think Asim Munir, ever since he's been appointed the Field Marshal, his tenure is coming to an end as the Chief of the Army Staff, resulting in he is wanting to become the commander in chief, and that in turn by the 27th Amendment, which is the 43rd article, which requires amendment by which the armed forces then hereinafter would be reporting to the president. And therefore, he, as commander in chief, reporting to the president, the powers entrusted to the president of Pakistan would definitely that delicate civil military relationship would result in a tilt towards the armed forces. And the armed forces, as always, they were powerful, but now they get constitutionally more powerful. And obviously, this amendment, besides this, also makes them feel that the 18th Amendment, which of 2010, which had given power to the provincial this thing, has in turn the federal has taken control, be it of health, education, and things, the other things regarding the Chief Election Commission, the transfer of judges, and things of those kinds. But notwithstanding that, what really matters is, yes, Asim Munir would become very powerful, and not just as the chief of the army staff, but the chief of the army staff would continue to be there. He becomes the commander in chief, very powerful. Everything with him as this thing. So I think the fear that there is in the Pakistan opposition that the military would get rather very powerful, and that civilian supremacy over the military would almost come to an end. And I think they're right. In any case, army in Pakistan always controlled either directly or remotely. So now it's full-fledged constitutional amendment brought in to make Asim Munir the very powerful commander-in-chief, and his being quite popular with the United States, and he's being praised very often by Mr. Trump. Probably, maybe the civil, maybe Shabazz Sharif and everybody may be feeling that it's okay with if he and they can move together and rule Pakistan, and so much better. As it is, we have Pakistan always had prime ministers which are selected rather than elected. So in that context, I think he becomes the supremo, number one, commander in chief, not just of the armed forces, but also of Pakistan. I don't think this will immediately affect, but definitely the fear is there because Operation Sindoor only is on pause. And in India also, there has always been kind of a feeling that Pakistan feels empowered with the kind of support it is getting from the USA. It also gets empowered because it seems to be sitting in the lap of China. And having got defeated in Operation Sindoor, there is always, I would say, it would be at the back of Asim Munir, though he's been made a field marshal, much that his honor may have been restored by the government of Pakistan, but in the heart of heart, they know they have lost. And that loss, the fear is always there that they would be onto some mischief, maybe empowered, feeling coming from US that, well, we are with you, China, always wanting to use Pakistan for all kinds of nefarious activities in India. In that context, I think he must be wanting to take the power and be able to take full control of Pakistan. And that fear is there in Pakistan that India will not tolerate nonsense, and that there is zero tolerance for terrorism, and that anything emanating from the soil of Pakistan, India will retaliate very hard. And therefore, all these kind of, attempting to be in the good books of USA, trying to please China, and trying to see that in India's backyard, you find Bangladesh being sort of given a preferential treatment by Pakistan, much that it lost Bangladesh in 1971, and all that. In that context, there is a fear in Pakistan. And that fear, I think, is good that they remain in that constant fear that India will retaliate should anything emanate from the soil, because there is absolute zero tolerance for terrorism, and that would not be tolerated irrespective of whatever Pakistan does. And I think it is in that context, probably Asim Munir wants to become a commander in chief, very powerful, wanting to show a Rambo image of himself that, yes, we will take on and whatever it be. So that's what maybe going in the minds of the Pakistani chief, but that's it. Doesn't really make. But India would continue to do what it is doing. It has these exercises are routine exercises that it is happening. The issue is happening near Sir Creek is obviously because Pakistan has attempted to improve infrastructure, raise a lot of observation posts there, the anti-drone measures being taken up there, knowing our past experience, what it did in 1965, is indicative that we ought to be vigilant. And therefore, it has nothing to do with Pakistan. But yes, if Pakistan attempts to be doing something, it would get it back. That messaging is very clear from India, loud and clear. Do not mess around, or you will get it back very badly.